If you like it, then you should put a ring on it. It's recording.
Oh.
Hey, you rushing.
Hey, peeps.
Not even that, you rushing. And did you find all the verses?
What's up? That's how you do it? Oh, no. What's up? No, that's not how you do it.
Hey, what's up?
You never ready.
You never ready. All that time I was taking to do all that stuff, you could have been. Yes, but instead you over here. Oh my god, baby.
Are you trying to comfort me?
No.
Yes,
I just don't completely agree with what you agree with.
No, I am just as confused, okay?
Oh, okay. I thought this was something that you knew that you were set in stone on.
No, I mean, when I found out, I was like, what? Braids too? I'm like, nah, I'm like.
Yeah, but how did you find out about the braids?
My parents.
So they told you not to put braids in your hair?
No, they was like, oh, it's not good to put braids. And I was like, oh my goodness,
but your mom still asked you to
again.
do her hair.
Well, yeah, they're just telling me that it's, you know, whatever. It's in the Bible. They was just letting me know. Just like
but I find it so crazy when people come to you and be like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be doing this. And then they're doing it. Like me, when I was fornicating, I would never go to someone and be like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be having sex before marriage.
No, they said, they were informing me like, oh, you know that it says in the Bible, like they were just telling me like, it says in the Bible, yo, there's no braids. And I was like, what? Just like I'm telling you. I was like, what the, like why? I don't know.
That's crazy. All these styles be so cute out here, y'all. What y'all think about that? Do y'all think that we are really not supposed to have braids in our hair or adorn ourselves with those type of things?
Braids,
or do you think like, you know, it's we're what's that word? We're reaching. You think we're just reaching, like you know what reaching mean? Oh my gosh, she's
reaching for the sky. I don't get it. So today's topic. Okay.
No, she go ahead and take over the video. It's your channel. For today's video, we're basically going to be talking about adorning yourself, like whether it's with jewel, with hair, with braids, like things like that. A lot of people believe, hint hint, that braids are against the Bible and that you shouldn't wear braids. Like
clarification. I just informed her that braids might not be
of God.
I don't even want to say that because I feel as though it's, you know, when we think certain things is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it might be a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on now. I mean, it might be little. It might not be that serious, but it's for a reason. So, and I just read that braids. Well, we'll get to the facts.
The verses.
Yeah. So.
The thing about me is that I feel like an outsider now. You know how like when you're telling an outsider, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, and they be like, yo, it's not that deep. Like if God didn't want he wouldn't turn. Like for example, liquor. Like their favorite verse to go to is, oh, God didn't want to drink alcohol. He wouldn't drink wine. He wouldn't turn water into wine. You know, and they make it seem like it's not that deep, and you be like, bro, it is. And like now I'm on that side because they're like, oh, you shouldn't wear braids. Like he said, don't do that, and I'm like, I don't think it's that deep. Like. You know, but then it probably might be. Yeah,
it's always a deeper thing to it.
1 Timothy.
1 Timothy 2, verse 9 and 10. And it reads.
There's no on the screen, y'all.
Oh, likewise, also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel. I mean, that's common sense, but you know how it is nowadays. Everybody want to show their booty and, you know. But anyways. With modesty.
I apologize in advance. She looking at me because I got a tube top on.
Show them.
I am in my home.
Not only
but I'm not showing it for the world. I am in my home. No lie though. Back then I used to dress like I was for the streets.
Oh, you for the streets?
I used to. I'm not gonna say that's dressing for the streets. I used to just dress in what I thought was cute. Like I used to be the one like with my belly out and wearing shorts. Till now, I don't think shorts are a big deal. I just feel like society makes it seem like it's a big deal for women to be in tight clothing and shorts, preferably black women, because we have all the beautiful curves. Because when a white girl's wearing it, they don't say jack.
Sweetie. You have a white girl body, so it doesn't.
Oh, see, that's where I gotta. Listen, when she made comments like that, now you gotta go off. Like I gotta go off.
Oh,
you can't make the comments like that. You can't be like they know. They know.
Thank you. Let's get back to the Likewise, also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire, but with that is proper for women who profess godliness with good works. I mean, see that verse right there, I feel as though like God knew, of course, he's God, but he knew that, I mean, how does people dress nowadays, especially our women? Honestly,
I'll put like a few things on the screen, but like, you know, they're wearing the tube tops, the half naked clothing, like
see, it's like the booty's out, you know, we curvy. Okay, should I show up? No.
Yeah, no.
It's for the Lord. Okay. And for my husband. But yeah, that's the look now.
It is.
And people don't look like themselves anymore. And it's like, you are beautiful. You can enhance it by wearing, you know, whatever. But we do the most. We do.
Yeah, as women, like I realize like as the years go by, we get more and more naked. It's like we're trying to go back to Adam and Eve, but maybe she already messed it up. Like now it's time to wear clothes. Like, you know, it's a difference when you don't notice that you're naked versus when you know blatantly that you're half naked and everybody can see that you're half naked.
And everybody looks alike now. Everybody looks alike now.
Yeah, with what they wear, how they do their hair,
makeup,
you can't really distinguish.
You know, there's not one.
Well, besides me, you know,
I mean, everybody just looks the same, and you already know how I am. I like to. I mean, I don't like to be seen, but I don't want to look like everybody else. Even like y'all do this, and I'm gonna be right here doing whatever I need to do. We looking for attention, or who can wear the longest lashes or the longest wigs.
Yeah, or people trying to outdo anybody. Like now, if you wear an 18-inch wig, they're looking at you like, oh, she don't have no money, or she can't get them inches, or your hair base barely touch your butt, and it's like, number one,
now, right?
Yeah, number one, South Florida is hot. That's number one. Number two, can your real hair touch your butt? That's the wrong shit. Like most of your hair,
there's nothing wrong with
can't even catch your earlobe.
But so take care of your hair, guys. Take care of
your real hair. Like, you know, like that's not going in a casket with you. Like a lot of people feel like no, some people like no lie. I've not yet gone to a funeral where I've seen a person get buried in a wig or weave. Like it's always in their natural hair. So you don't want to.
Oh, not me. That's the opposite.
I've always seen them in wigs and weave in the casket.
I mean, I haven't been to that many funerals, but the older folks, they be in wigs.
The older folks?
Yeah, they be in wigs.
That's crazy. I wouldn't send nobody to the grave. Maybe they do it for the funeral and then take it out before they bury them. Take it off before they bury them. Because I'm not sending nobody in the grave. Don't send me in the grave with no weave, y'all. Like, no, what's that gonna do? Buying bundles for what? And if God's not gonna allow that to go into heaven, I'm gonna go into heaven bald-headed anyways. Like, why send me in a casket with a weave? Like, no. Well, if I make it into heaven, that's another story. But for me, I read the verse, but I'm the type of person when I read the verse, I have to read everything else that leads up to that verse to know exactly what it means. Yeah, what it means. Because I know, like, in that verse, God was talking to Timothy. So I don't know if it was something that he was telling him as a king to, like, do for his kingdom, or if it was something that was actually appointed to us as a whole. Which at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because even with like the Old Testament, when God talks about like the different food that you shouldn't eat and all that extra stuff, and the whole jewelry with the Israelites and all that, it wasn't just specified for them. In general, he was saying, yo, these meats are clean, these meats are unclean, and those still apply to us till this day. So whether he was talking to Timothy in reference to Timothy's kingdom, or whether it was just in general, I think that regardless, it applies to us. But for me, the verse that I always go to when it comes to jewelry and like adorning your hair and stuff, it's a proverb.
What do you think when the verse mentions, do not adorn yourself with costly attire.
Which verse is that?
No, the same verse. With costly attire.
In 9? Or is it that?
Don't you see that's what's happening now? Everybody wants the name brand, the expensive stuff. Although most cannot afford it, but because to show other people, oh no, I have to get it. I don't care if this is not paid, that is not paid. I have to get it. See, these things are for a reason, because this is exactly what's going on right now. So this verse is very interesting to me.
I also want women to dress modesty and decency and propriety, adorning themselves not with elaborate hairstyles or gold or pearls or expensive clothes, but with good deeds appropriate for women who profess to worship. Okay, so first let's look at the word adorn, right? Okay, so the definition of adorn is make more beautiful or attractive, basically to heighten yourself up. So he said he doesn't think that you should make yourself more, to adorn yourselves with expensive clothing,
because you're already beautiful,
jewels, hair, whatever. Yeah, but to adorn yourself with modesty and, you know, submission. And submission is like another verse later than that, which we should also talk about that, how women these days refuse to submit to men. But no, I say submit, I don't mean like, or the man be like, oh, go prepare my dinner, and you be like, yes sir. No, not like that. Like when a man be like, baby, you know, I don't like appreciate like what you have on, or like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with you dressing like that, because I feel like, you know, it shows a lot, and I feel like that's something that should be shared with us intimately or whatever. And the one be like, oh, I'm an independent woman, I'm independent, I don't need you, I'm gonna listen to you, I'm gonna do what I want, like, you know, stuff like that. Versus, you know, taking into consideration how their man feels, or like if their man is trying to lead the family, but the woman always want to go foot first or want to do what she wants, instead of trying to compromise, you know, when it comes to the male. Like things like that. I feel like we have this whole facade thing of being independent women, or like society did this thing where they make us feel like a woman have to be so empowered. Not saying that we don't have to, but this is a whole topic for another day. I can't even get into that right now. As far as the expensive clothing, I feel like when he says adorn, it's more like, don't make that what makes you beautiful. Like don't feel like that's what you need to look good. Like the hairstyles, the expensive clothes, the makeup, the jewelry. Like don't adorn yourselves with those. If anything, what should show more is who you are as a person, your love, your faith, the characteristics within you, your personality. That's what you should let outshine you. Like it shouldn't be the first thing. Like I can look at you and the first thing I say, I'm like, oh, she's a pretty girl. And then when you start to speak, the first thing that I should be able to acknowledge is like, dang, she says some powerful words. Oh, she's a lovely person. Oh, she's a genuine person. Like it shouldn't be the only thing that you have going for yourself is how you look. Like honestly, that's nothing. Yeah, like materialistic stuff, like that's nothing. So I feel like that's what he means when he says adorn. I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, you shouldn't have it at all. Yeah, I think it's just saying like, yo, don't worship these things. Like you should show, or you should have so much more to offer than just those things.
No, I agree.
Okay, so what do you think about like the whole contradiction when it comes to the Bible?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, you see how that verse says not to adorn yourself and so far, but then you find verses where God talks about, you know, actually adorning people. Like he'd be like, oh, like when he talks about Esther or like a lot of other women in the Bible, he'd be like, oh, she was so beautiful with the necklace around her neck and the pearls that were da 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 da. Like he'll say stuff to describe how beautiful the woman is, but also describing like all of the jewelry they had on them and things like that. So if that's not supposed to be a part of your beauty or what makes you, then why bring that up when he's being descriptive about these people?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I mean, like you said, the keyword descriptive. He just wanted you to paint. He just wanted you to paint a picture in your head on exactly how they looked back in the days, maybe, and not necessarily meaning that he was trying to really focus on what she literally had on, but just trying to paint a mental picture, maybe. To be honest with you, there's a lot of things in the Bible that are confusing, and I'm not going to say contradicting, but it's kind of it can be confusing sometimes, because Girl, you're right. Because these certain things in the Bible, I'm like, okay, we're not supposed to do this. But in another passage, it says, oh, well, it's okay, kind of.
Oh, okay. So basically just to have like a more descriptive picture of what's being described. Like I'm like that too, but not like when I'm listening. I'm like that when I'm speaking. Like I feel like I have to describe every little thing about the scenery so you can completely understand what it is that I'm talking about, or completely get like the joke or whatever it is that I'm saying.
I'm the opposite.
T hates that about me. He'd be like, yo, just get to the point. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, the sun was shining a little bit and it was glistening a little bit on the car, but the car had this water. The water came from, and he's like, yo, get to the point. What is it that you're trying to say? Like he doesn't like all that descriptive stuff. But the reason why it's annoying, because it's like, yo,
you're loud.
I get it. The camera needs to hear me. It's annoying, and it's like I get it, is because I'm like, the reason why it's annoying, and I understand why he don't want me to descript it, because this is what ends up happening. I could be like, oh, the car was shining because of water on it, and he'd be like, oh, where the water came from? Oh, the water came from a hose that was around the area.
Would ask you.
Yeah, more questions. So I just kind of break everything down before you start questioning what's the next thing, what's the next thing, what's the next thing. I'd be so descriptive that you don't got no questions to ask. You just completely understand and you're like, all right, cool. But if I know there's gonna be follow-up questions, I just automatically answer them before you even get the chance to answer the question. That's how I am. So, and then when I do that, like when I'm curt and to the point, he starts asking questions. I'm like, well, you be telling me like I talk too much or I'm saying too much to get to the point, so I just got to the point. And like, so it's annoying. 1 Peter 3 verse 3 says, your adornment must not be merely external, braiding the hair and wearing gold or putting on dresses. It should also be internal. Like it should be internal. So I feel like that's another verse that kind of backs up that. It's saying that,
not saying that is wrong.
That is wrong. Like it's just not something that should be like the only thing that you have going for yourself. Like you shouldn't be beautiful because of how you look and whatever. You should have beauty like flowing out from inside of you. Yeah. So yeah, I think your parents may have not like read that verse properly. You think you can go back to them and be like, oh mom, dad, this is what I think, like this is what it seems like it's saying. There's other verses that backs it up. Like, or do you think they're gonna stick with, no, you shouldn't do this?
Well, the braiding of the hair, they don't trip on it. I don't know if they found out. They just found out. They just told me like, oh, it says in the Bible that that they don't want you braiding your hair. But you know, Haitians, especially spiritual ones, they take things literal and they take it and just run with it. You feel me? So, which is understandable. I get it, but we still have to do our research too. We can't overthink things, and we like to do that sometimes.
Definitely.
But I mean, I do braids for me, my clients, my kids, and I don't. It's not something that, like, if I see braids, like you like the what is those braids that go like this?
The lemonade braids.
Lemonade braids. You see how it's popular and everybody want to do it and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't like whenever it's not hype. That's when I do it or whatever. If I think it's cute, but I feel like though maybe that's what God is talking about. Like, okay, don't be with the hype. Like, yeah, it may be popular or whatever, but just don't let that get to your head. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Dun, 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 dun. No? When it's cold outside.
I got the Mother May. Wow! Alright guys, I can't find a verse. I'm annoyed. But I know it's a Proverbs or a Psalm that talks about how beautiful a woman can be. If I find it, I'll obviously insert the clip here. I'll try to look for it before I edit this video. But it's basically saying that, like, you know, a woman is beautiful, jewels are beautiful, silver and gold, and all of that is beautiful. But then it tells you at the end of the day, remember that, you know, wisdom is more precious than jewels. I can't remember the exact verse, and I've been trying to find it online, and I cannot find it. And you know how you always find something when you're least looking for it, when you least expect it. So, but yeah, but just remember, guys, that At the end of the day, yeah, y'all like to look good, y'all like to dress up, y'all like the expensive clothes.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't at all. Like, you know, but just remember that shouldn't be. You shouldn't be worshiping those things. Like, you should always remember that jewelry isn't something to be worshipped. Look at was it the Israelites or the Egyptians? The Israelites. When Moses went to go get the 10 Commandments, and then, you know, they took off, because they thought Moses was taking too long, so they took off all their jewelry and they started worshiping it. They made cows out of them. They were putting them on the women who were pregnant and stuff, and making like little figures. Like, they were doing so much stuff with the jewelry, and they started calling the jewelry God. Like, you don't want to reach a point where you're doing that. Now, you don't literally have to call your weave God or your hair God. You know, this don't only apply for weave. It's also natural hair too.
You pulled my hair, bro. But yeah, that is
it applies for natural hair too. There's people who are so obsessed with their natural hair. Like, bruh, if you touch it, you cut it, they'll go crazy. Like, they feel like it's the end of life.
It's not that serious.
Like, you know how many people I hear they be like, oh, your hair is you. It's what makes you. No, you're what makes you. Like, your hair could be chopped off tomorrow. It always grows back. Unless you kind of old, then you know, it might not flourish as much. But
okay. But yeah,
it always grows back. So like, even with hair, and it don't necessarily got to be where you be like, oh my God, I love my hair, I praise thee. Like, you don't have to do that.
Sometimes we don't realize that we are worshiping, not sometimes we don't realize we're worshiping our hair, clothes, whatever. It's how you just one day just think about it. Like, oh, do you need those eyelashes? You feel as though like, oh, you look ugly with the eyelashes, or you can't live
the house
without eyelashes, or your wigs, or your Tory Burch. What is it called?
Tory Burch.
Yeah, whatever. Tory Burch or whatever your fancy. Yeah. Then that's when you know you have a problem, or you feel naked without your jewelry or whatever. Then that's when you
you have to have earrings on, you have to have on a necklace, like,
or you have to
things like that. It's kind of like you making that item your God. And I know y'all gonna be like, how is it just because I like to wear earrings, or I feel like I feel naked without naked making it my God? The only thing that you should ever feel uneasy about in life is not having God's presence, His love, His touch. That's the only thing that should ever make you feel uneasy. Yes, we're human. We're bound to feel uneasy about certain things. But one of the biggest verses in the Bible is to never worry. Never feel uneasy. Just be still. And God is going to take care of everything. So if something as little as earrings make you feel uneasy, make you feel naked, make you feel like you're not you,
that's an issue.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Issue. That's something.
Not only insecure, but it's just a big problem. Like, now you just feel like you have to have that thing. And the only thing that you should feel like you can't live without is God. Like, your spirituality, your faith. That's what it is. So if you start feeling like, I know people like, if they leave their house without their phones, like even with your phone, they be like, no, I have to go back home. I need my phone. I can't go nowhere without my phone. Or like wedding rings and all of that. Like, people, the obsession is real. I ain't gonna lie, I started getting attached to my wedding ring a little bit, and then I had to kind of like push it to the side. I haven't worn it for a while because I'm like, we're not gonna do this. Like, I gotta let people see that I'm married. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So things like that can really, like, whatever. When I was younger, I was like, had that problem with weed. Like, my dad used to beat me and be like, you're going to school. I'm like, I'm not going to school unless my hair is not done. Like,
unless your hair is done.
Yeah, unless my hair is done. Yeah, shut up. But I'm not going to school unless my hair is done. Like, I would sit home in bed, you know, lock my room door, sing.
I think that's kind of different. How old were you?
I was in middle school. No, I was in high school at the time. I was in my
Because, I mean, come on, you can't go to school looking crazy. But you meant like, okay, it has to be done in a specific style or whatever.
No, it was like
done in general.
Weave. Like, I wanted to have weave on. And I'm like, my hair's not done, I'm not going to school. I don't know if it was necessarily weave, because I was in the process of taking my hair out and putting braids in. So my hair looked crazy. Half was done, the other half wasn't done. And my dad was like, just shoot it in a ponytail and go. And I'm like,
yeah, that's a different story. Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But when I used to go to school without weave, I used to be so insecure. Like, I used to be like, dang, I need some weave. I gotta have weave in my hair. Everybody else's hair is done. My hair's not done. Oh my God, I need help and get my hair done. And, you know, that's what I started doing. Like, I would have to get my hair done. My obsession became so bad that the guy that I was dating at the time started putting me in check about that. Like, I used to get my hair done at least every 2 to 3 weeks. Like, that bad, messing with my hair. And my dude, it reached a point, like, once it's 2 weeks, he'd be like, yo, it's 2 weeks. It's time for you to switch it up. Like, he would check me about it. And it's like, I was like, dang, like, I'm that bad. Like, even he like kind of get used to seeing me in something different or getting my hair done all the time, or like when it starts looking messy, he's like, yo, you need to clean that up. Like, and I'm like, oh, it's not that bad, you know, it could do another week. He's like, nah, it's time to switch it up. So, you know, it was that bad. So as you guys can see, don't adorn yourself with the expenses, with all that expensive stuff. I think we broke it down like really well, really good, so that y'all can know, yeah, so that y'all can know like beauty is within. What you should be showing, or what should show out more than what you have on the outside, is what's on the inside. So
personality,
all of that can be pretty. God is basically telling you, even if you got makeup, hair, Chanel, Gucci, whatever on the outside, you can still be ugly as hell on the inside. Basically what he's saying.
That's true. But that but don't do too much of it, because that's the first thing people see, and you don't want that, right?
Yeah. Well, some people do want that. They like the attention.
Maybe it's me. I wouldn't live under a rock, to be honest with you.
Moral of the story, just be like me, beautiful inside and out. Okay? Alright, and that's the end for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell button to be notified. And don't forget to check out her channel as well, House of Organic Beauty. And I'm going to use the same teleframe because nobody got time for that again. House of Organic Beauty. Okay, that's enough. And
wow.
Yeah, until next time, peeps.